We set the tone. We are the architect of their success. We are the gatekeepers of their mental health, their security. It is our role as parents, as fathers, to protect, to provide, to give them something to aspire to create a place that helps them have a dream. Find a dream, find something that they can latch onto, that they can aspire to be. We have to set the tone. We cannot rest, we cannot step back. We must define our path. We must understand who we are, the influence that we have on a day-to-day basis. We must become the version of ourselves that is capable of setting that tone. We fail in modern society to step up, to role model the skills, the attributes, the personality traits that enable our children to become unique, that enable our children to reach for the stars. I did a High Rocks just over 10 days ago, and let me tell you, I wasn't prepared. I was mentally tired, physically drained as I stepped out into that race. Now everyone that's done a High Rocks is going to go, oh, I've done a High Rocks, it's so exciting. You should do a High Rocks. And yes, maybe you should do something that challenges you, something that mentally pushes you, physically drains you. You need to understand what you're capable of. And that's why I did the High Rocks. It had nothing to do with pace, it had nothing to do with the time. I wanted to understand what I was capable of. I wanted to understand how much I could push my body. And more importantly, I wanted to understand how I would overcome setback or a challenge when mentally fatigued. Because we don't always get to that point. We don't always create the opportunities to drain ourselves of our resources. Because we need our resources, we need our energy to give our children what they need on a day-to-day basis. But where is your, how far can you push yourself? What is your level? How hard are you willing to go to set the tone for your children? On a day-to-day basis, we have to show up. We have to show them that life is worth living. That life is filled with opportunity, with dreams that they can aspire to. We have to set the pace. We have to grow. And that's what fatherhood is about. It's a lesson. It's a lesson in understanding how not to fuck things up. It's a lesson in understanding what you're capable of. And it's a lesson in how far you can go, how far you can push yourself mentally, physically. It will drain you. It will challenge you. No matter how old your kids are, they are going to throw at you curveballs left, right and centre, and you've got to just roll with the punches. But you can't do that when you're drained. You can't set the tone if you're not showing up for you. If you're not showing up, giving them what they need, which is a present, connected dad. It's that dad willing to do something new, something extra. It's the dad willing to take a step back to reflect on the role that he played. The challenge in today's society is we as dads need to role model those positive masculine traits. We need to show up. We need to be present, but we also need to demonstrate the strength, the resilience, the courage that sets that tone, that gives our children something to aspire to be. We set the tone, we guide and lead by example. You must understand what you're truly capable of. If you're feeling distant, if you're feeling distracted, if you're feeling lost, those are things that you can control. Those are things that you must control because your children need you to be in the room. They don't need you behind the phone. They don't need you zombied out. They just need you to be focused on what they truly need in the moment, which is you engaged in the play, in the smiles, in the laughter. But you can't do that if you're not prepared to rid yourself of the pain, the struggle, the strain, whatever it might be. Fatherhood is truly life-changing. It's a beautiful mess of chaos, of noise, of laughter, of joy. But at times, if you're not in control of how you feel, your emotions, your worries, your concerns, your frustrations, your anger, then how can you show up? How can you show them what you're capable of? You set that tone through your actions, your words, being visible, being present, being in the room. You cannot define a life because you could not step up, because you could not stand your ground and move forward and understand that mistakes happen. We learn from them. Today's society is not accountable for its actions. You only have to look at adolescence on Netflix. Are we truly accountable for the world our children are growing up in? Are we having enough influence over those things that can destroy their self-esteem, destroy their confidence? We have to take it upon ourselves to set the barriers, create the boundaries that protect them from the outside influences that will throw them off course. When you throw them out into the world, they are going to be influenced by so many different things, so many different people, opinions. You must set the tone. You must find a way to be happy, to be healthy, to be strong, to be committed. Fatherhood isn't just about taking a step back, taking your foot off the gas. Fatherhood is about trying to understand what the operating rhythm is, how you can influence without losing sight of who you are, without losing sight of the things that you enjoy, the relationship that you have with your children's mother. We owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our families to be stronger, to be more resilient, to be more confident, to be more courageous. But you can only do that if you act. You can only do that if you are prepared to step up, reset and move forward and give them something to look at. Let them see what the influence is in the household, how to respond to the pressure, how you respond in anger, in frustration. Do you shout? Are you the loudest voice in the room? You want their confidence to be flowing. You want them to understand what they're capable of, where the true power comes from. That strength of mind, their integrity, their passion, their enthusiasm for life, for love, for joy, for happiness. You must help them achieve whatever it is they're seeking out to achieve as they get older. You shape who they become. You don't define it, but you shape it. You must teach them right and wrong. You must teach them how to look after themselves. You must teach them how to talk to themselves, how they talk to others. Respect for yourself. Respect for their selves. Everything you do from this day on, from the moment that you become a parent, is setting the tone. You can set yourself physical challenges. You can set yourself a new goal in your career. But the job, the role, the most important role that you will play is to turn up as dad, is to lead by example, to set the bar high, to create a legacy. It is not to cast a shadow. It is not to allow your frustrations to limit their self-belief. It is not your role to impose every rule and sanction on them so they cannot flourish. But it is also your role to understand how things influence how you show up. Because if you don't understand how that world circling around you influences your every interaction, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever day of the week it is, if you don't understand how you're influenced by your interactions, who you talk to, how they speak to you, what work pressures you're under, how financially under pressure you are, then your children will not know the value that they have, the contribution that they bring to your home. You play this critical role in their self-belief, their development, their confidence, their courage. But if you're sat back, if you're ignoring that role, that responsibility, if you are not accountable for past action, past mistakes, and you are not prepared to step forward, if you're not setting the tone to guide and showcase what you're capable of, then are you doing enough? This isn't to put pressure on you. This is looking outside into the world today. And are we having the right influence on our children? Are we protecting them from things that can destroy who they could become? Are we allowing things to influence who we could become? Are we allowing things to shape how we show up, how we perform in our role? That stress you feel on a Friday, that pressure to provide, that pressure to protect, whatever it might be, if you're pushing and pushing and pushing, then the snap may come. And it's them, they feel it, you feel it. That jaded dad that they see on a day-to-day basis, drained of resources, drained of affection, of love, distant in every interaction. It's that dad who will influence how they feel about themselves, how they talk to themselves internally, how they show up in the moment for their children in the future, for their friends, for their mum, for you. Your role is critical. It's not just critical to the early development of your children. It's critical to how they navigate every single challenge. But if they don't see you taking on challenges, if they don't see you stepping up and trying something different, how do they know that they can do it? How do they know that they can set the pace, set the tone? They can grow. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter if you're not prepared to deal with it. But it will matter in the future if you don't make the right choices, if you don't take the right action, if you don't progress, if you don't lead by example, don't set the tone, don't influence from a position of strength and confidence. You are the most powerful person in your home. You will shape how they see the world. So when you show up today, make sure you drop that bag at the door. Take those boots off, take those shoes off, and you get down to their level immediately. If they're a baby, get right up close to them. Give them your warmth. If they're a toddler, go and play that game. Throw yourself into whatever it is they are doing. Give them whatever it is you have left in the tank. And when they're in bed, reset and recharge. If you're not exercising, if you're not looking after yourself mentally and physically, you need to start. If you're not filling your cup with things that add value to you, to your confidence, to your strength, to your partner's well-being, then you need to start doing that. You need to take a step back. You need to reflect on the overall influence that you are having. You need to understand the different influences that circle around you so that you can have the influence they need you to have in every interaction. Because you, my friend, are the most powerful person in the room. Your voice will become their inner voice if you are not prepared and you are not ready and you don't understand how powerful you are. Fatherhood is a journey. The Modern Fatherhood Club has your back. The resources that we have developed have you in mind. Friday Fuel is here to help you reset for that weekend. Look, I have taken on many challenges, things that I'm proud of, things that I've accomplished. When I finished that High Rocks race, you'd think I was overwhelmed by the joy. I'd finished it, I'd done it, I'd battled through. There were a couple of times I didn't think I was going to finish it. But actually, I wanted to beat myself up. I didn't give it enough. I thought I had more left in the tank. So I left the event with more questions than answers. I believed I was capable of more. But if I was capable of more in that moment, was my preparation right? Were the fluids right? Was the food right? Was the training right? And that's part of your fatherhood story if you link it back to that. If you prepared for fatherhood and you didn't just take it in your stride, you will be performing at a level that they need you to be performing at, because you'll have got your shit together, you'll have got everything in order, and you'll be ready to react. You will be ready to navigate the hurdles. You'll be mentally on point. But if, like many of us, you didn't prepare in that way and you took it in your stride and you didn't think about the influences of the world outside, you didn't think about your career choices, the mistakes perhaps you made when you were younger that have cost you dear in the future, then those things could be contributing to the way that you feel about yourself now. They could be contributing to the way that you react around your children. They could be overflowing into the home environment and reducing your ability to lead by example, reducing your ability to smile more. So I want you to set yourself more challenges. I want you to focus on what's stopping you moving forward. I want you to understand the things that have hurt you in the past. And I want you to understand if they're stopping you giving them what you need. Fatherhood is your journey. Embrace it. Make it unique. Because one day you'll sit back, and I don't want you to live with regret. I want you to have a legacy that you're proud of. I want you to know deep down in your heart that you stayed the course. You gave them what they needed, and they flourished under your guidance and your love and your passion. Fatherhood is your story. Write every chapter. Focus on the detail. Focus on the quality of your interaction and focus on the input, because it will influence the output. Give them everything they need. Become the father you were destined to become. Make this weekend count. Make every interaction count and understand your limitations. And if there are limitations, work to overcome them. If you've made mistakes in the past, learn from them, step back, plan for the next challenge. Set yourself up for success. Give them the real you, the authentic version of you that leads, that is confident, that is courageous, that is strong, but above all else, is in the room, is present, is ready for the next cuddle, the next warm embrace, that next game. This is Friday Fuel. This is Aidan. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you again soon.